Welcome back, everybody, to another live hangout here on Friday night, baby. How you doing? Sorry about the wait there. Of course, I did an update on OBS, and it just said, "Hey, completely forgot about your channel. Can you give me the?" I was like, "Oh, great, awesome." So yeah, but I am live, baby. Let me double check though, so we never like to assume. But yeah, man, how you guys doing? How you guys doing? All right, looks like we are live. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that mug right there. Jesus, I need to shave this beard off. Whew. But anyway, how are you guys doing, man? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Friday night hangout, man. What's going on? We got two people watching. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you. Please don't hesitate to pop in the chat there. Come on. All right, there we go. Captain! Bill's working on stuff for the season. Let's go, man. Heck yeah. Captain, how you doing? Yeah, man. How you been? How's your week been? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, I'll look at the Bills right now. Let me see what they. Obviously, I know they just traded a couple. Obviously, what was like a week ago almost for DJ Moore. Man, that was a big trade for them and their offense. Let me see here. So yeah, it looks like the Bills actually just lost Ryan Vandemark to the Vikings. They're not going to match the offer there. He's going to be going to Minnesota on a 1-year, $4.2 million contract that is obviously going to be fully guaranteed there. It's according to Tom Pelissero. Yeah, let me see here. So with the Bills, they signed Geno Stone. I think that's a really solid pickup there. Good depth, very smart player. Has played a lot of football, some at a very high level, but just never really reached the I don't want to say the pinnacle, but what many people thought like 3 or 4 years ago. I remember there was a lot of people that wanted the Packers to sign him, and he never really hit that echelon that many people thought he was going to hit with Cincinnati. Bradley Chubb obviously got signed there. That they gave him a good amount of money. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully he can bounce back after a couple injuries there the last couple seasons. D Ford, another good pickup for that secondary. So yeah, man, let's freaking go. Yeah, so the Bills are obviously making some moves, man. They need to find ways to be competitive. All right. So, but yeah. Yeah, but let me know in the chat, what are you looking forward to the most now that basically free agency is basically done. There's obviously a few stragglers there, but I'm not expecting any major 40, 50, 70 million dollar contracts to be coming down the pike here. Basically, the only other thing that might still happen that is going to be massive is maybe Max Crosby goes somewhere else. Um, that may not happen until either draft night or a little bit after the draft, kind of like a Micah Parsons. situation. But yeah, it'll be interesting. So let me know. Let me know what you're looking forward to. Let me know what you're hoping your team does in the draft or leading up there. Let me know. Let me know. We're gonna keep on rolling here. So just give me one moment here. Just want to make sure I got all my notes. Sorry, just updating the post here, just so people know I'm live. Yeah, just gonna wait a minute or two here while we probably get some people that are coming through here. Hopefully they see that update on the post there. Yeah, once again, a little bit late today. When I try to get OBS up and running, basically I got signed out, so had to redo the whole kit and caboodle to get that going again. So that was fun. And of course, every single time, there's always got to be something. Always gotta be something. But yeah, man, I am so excited. Basically the last 2 or 3 days, I just been basically doing a bunch of homework on the draft here, man. I'm not even joking. Let me give you everything I got here. Literally, boom, boom, boom. All right, and of course, YouTube videos, a bunch of like some of these. Obviously, these magazines are like they're printed typically almost like a month before they're released. Like I'm pretty sure most of these are not even. They're mostly printed and sent out before even free agency starts. So some of this information is outdated. I don't even think they have. Some of these don't even have the combine results. So, but it's a great way to just kind of get an understanding of like where these players are, what their information is, things like that. Plus, I'm a collector of these, dude. I have so many of these from like 2007. I have one from like I think 2000. Like I love these, man. I was so addicted to these as a kid, and this year was like the first time I was able to find three of these all in one spot, man. So it was awesome. Um, and then since then I've just been watching some videos. I've only gotten a chance to really see like 3 or 4 prospect videos. Been working a lot at my other job this week, but luckily after tomorrow I will have a lot of time to kind of just do this. And man, dude, it's been so much freaking fun, man. Um, like when we talk about the first like prospect or two, bear with me because I am going to be nerding out. There's going to be some deep cuts that may or may not be interesting to some people, but man, dude, I love this stuff, man. Um, don't worry, I won't go into so much detail about these guys. The first two for sure, just because I want to get that nerdy side of me out, and then the rest of the ones will be kind of more of like an overview, a quick overview. I will eventually do a deeper dive in all of these guys that I mentioned and more as we kind of get closer and closer to the draft. Like I said, and these are not going to be uh, maybe, but most of these videos are going to be edited. They won't be live. I'll post them out that way. They're hopefully I can get them down to a um, um, more manageable length, and just kind of give you like the information, what you need to know about these guys, and kind of what I'm hoping that they may bring to the Packers or where they might go in the draft. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at. It's been fun the last couple days, man. Like this is like my favorite part, to be honest with you, man. Like of the off season, like free agency, it's fun, it's great, but being a Packer fan, you might have a wild free agency like once every 5 years, but when it comes to the draft, this is where the Packers, this is where they live, this is where they build their franchise. They are a draft and develop team. They don't give away picks unless it's Micah Parsons. But yeah, man, it's been so much fun just kind of just watching a bunch of draft stuff and just kind of like sifting through all the chatter. So it's been fun. So let me see here. So yeah, once again, we'll be nerding out a little bit here in the next couple minutes. So once again, bear with me. Let me see here. I'm just trying to make sure I got all the prospects images out. Um, yeah, that way I can kind of give you guys. Yeah, this way there's like a visual for you guys to know who I'm talking about as we kind of go along with some of these guys. Yeah, sorry, I did work today at my other job, so I did not have as much time to prep some of this stuff. But all my notes are finished. We won't be doing any of that while we're here. But I did need to put a few more pictures up just to make sure. Once again, you guys know who I'm talking about. But yeah, man, if you guys are watching, let me know how your week's been. How's the weather, man? How's the family doing? Let me know. Let me know. In Wisconsin, dude, it has been awesome. I think the last time we went live, it was a basically a snowstorm here in Wisconsin. We got about, I'm trying to think, like some parts are like were absolutely just down for about a day or two. Northern Wisconsin, kind of like that Green Bay area, got a bunch of snow. They got like 2 or 3 feet of snow. Luckily, where I'm at, we only got about a foot and a half, roughly, maybe 2 feet. And it was kind of cleared out after about a day or two. But then, of course, after a snowstorm, literally 2, 3 days later, today was like 55 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be even better. It's going to be like in the 70s. So all that snow is going to be basically melted. So that was fun. And all right, I think we are basically all set here, man. Thank goodness. Oh, almost forgot him, dude. Jeez. There he is. All right. All right. Perfect. Let's freaking get to it, baby. All right, man. So, starting with the Packers, man, I will be. This is not going to be a full 7 round draft for the Green Bay Packers. I'm only basically going to talk about like anywhere between 6 to about 9 guys, and they're mostly going to be from the second to the third round, where I think the Packers are going to be able to pick those guys up there. Um, these are going to be basically picking for best player available, but also a combination of what I think that these guys could contribute right away. So getting value out of that. The Packers are going to be without their first round pick this year. Obviously, they traded that away to the Dallas Cowboys to pick up Micah Parsons. They also traded away their 2027 first round draft pick. So this year and next year, the Packers, no first round picks. But this year, the Packers have the second round pick, 52nd overall, third round pick, 84th overall, fourth round pick, 120, fifth round pick, 160, sixth round pick, 201, and then they finally have two seventh round draft picks, one at 236 and 255. That 255 was a compensatory pick that they picked up this just a couple days ago, actually, as the NFL was handing them off. The reason the Packers did not get as many, even though they lost quite a few guys last year to free agency, they also picked up a few guys. Aaron Banks cost them some of that capital, and then unfortunately Nate Hobbs as well kind of lowered that what could have been potentially a fourth or a couple mid-round picks. Because of those two major signings, basically everything went down to just one seventh-round draft pick. So it is what it is. Aaron Banks seems to be an okay signing. Obviously, we know about Nate Hobbs. He is no longer on the team. That was a swing and a miss by Gutekunst there. But it is what it is. They're moving on. They picked up St. Just, who was with the Chargers last year. He's going to be probably competing for that outside job. And we're going to move on from there, man. So the Packers' biggest needs coming into this draft, man. The Packers have a lot of defensive needs. Corner, probably the biggest one. Defensive tackle, even though they picked up Hargrave from Minnesota, they're still going to need someone else over the middle there. Devontae Wyatt is coming back from a nasty ankle injury. He should be back before the season starts, but with big guys like that, you never know how those ankles, those ligament injuries could linger. So always good to have a backup. Always good to have a potential future starter there, because Hargrave is already 33 years old. Even if he plays well this year, next year, 34 years old, plays defensive line, may not last. So D-tackle, edge rusher is also a big need for them. They do have some young players that they picked up last year. Oliver, I was going to say Bronson, but my goodness. Who the heck am I thinking of here? Sorry about that, guys. Hold up. But anyway, while I look this up, once again, they traded Rashawn Gary, so there is a starter gone from that point on. And Micah Parsons, who knows if he'll be ready for the season to begin, man. So it's going to be, somebody needs to step up, and it may not be, sorry, Byron Sorrell, the man out of Texas. That's who else I couldn't think of. But yeah, Sorrell showed flashes, man. But by no means should the Packers be content with rolling him or Oliver out there. Oliver barely played because of an injury. I think he was maybe healthy towards the last month of the season, but by that point he was kind of behind the eight ball. So this coming season will probably be his best chance. We'll see what kind of jump Oliver brings, as well as Sorrell, who once again showed flashes, but once again the Packers are going to definitely need somebody on the other side for Micah Parsons. They're going to need to find some type of Robin to Micah's Batman. And then finally, offensive line is always a need for the Packers, especially the interior. But once again, losing Rasheed Walker, they're going to need a swing tackle. They do have Kennard, who they re-signed for a fairly cheap deal, but you always want to have at least two, maybe three guys that can play that swing tackle position, maybe can kick into guard every once in a while. So yeah. David Stegosaurus, baby. Hi, Dave. Well, hello to you, sir. How are you? But yeah. David, what's going on, brother? How's the week been, man? And how's the family? How's the pupper? I got biscuits and gravy for dinner. Woo! Yes. Dude, I've never had a bad biscuits and gravy. I'm just telling you, man. It's so good. So good. What kind of biscuits, man? That buttermilk biscuits? Come on. Dog is hot. It's been warm the last few days. How was your week? Sorry about Wisconsin. And I know, dude. And to think, man, I was trying to watch that game, and I just got busy with other things, and I was like, they'll win this round, right? Freaking Wisconsin, man. So, even when you least expect it, they break your heart, man. Yeah, that was a tough one, man. The Badger pride took a hit today, man. There were so many people wearing their Badger hats, and I was like, Badgers? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you want to talk about it? They're like, nah. I was like, there's next year, though. And they're like, yeah. Yeah, man. Tough one, man. But there were some good upsets, man. Holy freaking cow. Some big, big upsets. Did you get a chance to watch any of the games, David? Let me know. Yeah, did the women's tourney start today, too? Yeah, man. It's going to be fun. Eventually, I do have to find some way to watch these games, even if it's on in the background. Sorry, just looking up a few things here. There we go. I'm sort of watching St. John's versus Iowa. Okay. Northern Iowa. Northern. Heck yeah, dude. I love that these like smaller schools, man, get so much play during the tournament, man. You like St. John's. Like, do you ever hear about them in football? I don't even know if they have a freaking football program, but yeah, man, that is the one really fun thing about like this tournament, the college basketball is like some of these smaller schools, man, that may not have the numbers or even like the not only in terms of like athletes but also just the money to be able to do a football program or be competitive. Basketball, man, all you need is a ball and some shorts, man, and a hoop, obviously. And yeah, man, it can be really fun. Oh, before I forget, please, if you get a chance, leave a like on the video. Helps out the channel, helps out the video a ton, gets it into more people's eyes. So, please and thank you. Yeah, I like Wichita State, which has like no pull and anything else. There for a couple years, made a little noise in the tournament. Yeah, 100%, man. Like even like a powerhouse in college basketball, like Duke, not incredibly powerful in football, but man, dude, they have produced some crazy freaking athletes um, in basketball. A lot of them it seems like they're guards mostly. That's what I've seen out of Duke. But man, dude, they've and they tend to stick around for a little bit in the NBA. It's really tough um, to do that, in my opinion, especially at the guard position, because like you could be a great athlete, great shooter in college, but because of the size, because of the all this other stuff, it doesn't always translate in the NBA, or at least it doesn't last too long. But yeah, man. All right, let's go, baby. We got two people watching right now. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right. David, what are you looking forward to the most in the draft, man? Either for Kansas City or Green Bay. Like, give me one either player or give me one position that you want to see them hit with their first pick. Obviously, Kansas City has what one or two first round picks now, and then Green Bay obviously does not, but they do have a second round pick. Let me know. And it is also open for anybody else that's watching. Let me know. Don't worry, we'll get to my nerdiness in a little bit when I start talking about these prospects. But I want to hear from you guys. All right, this is literally the whole point of this hangout. Us talking. It could be about basketball. It could be about football. It could be about anything. And if we don't get to the other stuff that I have planned, forget about it. Who cares? David, KC needs a tight end to take over for Kelsey in the future. Could they draft? It's true, man. And just from what I've seen, this is going to be a solid class for tight ends. I think I've seen two or three tight ends go in the first round. I think there's one in the top 10, and then a couple throughout the remainder of the first round, and then there's like another two or three in the second. So there's a good. It looks from what I can tell, it's a good class for tight end, especially at the top. And with Kansas City obviously owning what three picks in the first two rounds, I think that this is gonna be the draft where they could find one, man. Yeah, I didn't actually look at tight ends yet. Let me see here. Who's the guy that I've seen pop up a bunch here? Um, Max Claire, Claire. Ohio State, man. I've seen that guy all over the first round, basically, man. And yeah, man, I think it's a good time. I think Kansas City knows that they do need to address that tight end position, and with Kelsey kind of giving them that one extra year to kind of maybe ease that young guy into that role, it could be very beneficial to his career. So I agree with you, 100% agree. All right, all right, baby. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. I think let me see here. Yeah, sweet. All right, guys. First position that I'm going to talk about here for the Packers is going to be corner. And once again, this is going to be the deepest dive I go into on this live. Talking about a position here. The other ones are going to be a little bit more of a quick overview. I know I don't want to bore you guys with getting into the weeds, but humor me for a couple minutes as I kind of nerd out about my research here. So, all right. So, going back to 2021, not only talking about what the Packers have drafted at the corner position, but what they have kept on their roster since basically 2018, so the Gutekunst era, along with 2021 specifically. So, starting at 2021, Eric Stokes, 6'1", 193 pounds. And then we're going to keep on going from literally, I'm going to be talking about almost every corner that has played either a significant amount of snaps defensively or who they have drafted. Shamir Jean Charles signed with the Seahawks this offseason, 5'10", 186. Corey Ballantyne, 5'11", 191. Rasul Douglas, 6'2", 209. Heaviest corner that they have had in basically the last 5 years. Keyshawn Nixon, 5'10", 200 pounds, still on the roster. Carrington Valentine, 6 feet, 189. Kalen King, 5'11", 190. Robert Rochelle, 6 feet, 193. Kamel Hoden, 6'1", 192. Jonathan Baldwin, 6 feet, 190. And Nate Hobbs, 6 feet, 195. And Jair Alexander, 5'10", surprisingly 200 pounds. Despite being one of the thinner guys I've seen, apparently pretty stocky. So, all of that to say that the Packers have a type at the corner position. Oh, sorry about that, David. Yeah, but Ohio State is the Vikings of the college. Oh, man. You are not wrong, sir. You are not wrong. I'd root for a meteor before Ohio Poop University. Boom. But how about if the tight end is good, though? And plus, once you draft him, he's no longer an Ohio State Buckeye, man. He's a Kansas City Chief. Might be worth it. Might be worth it. Yeah. Once again, sorry, David. Really nerding out a little bit here. Sorry. But yes, all of that to say that the Packers have a type. Basically, 5'11" to 6'1". That is their type. The only 2 or 3 players that basically go slightly out of that range is Rasul Douglas at 6'2". Keyshawn Nixon and Jair were both under 5'11". They were 5'10". Otherwise, everybody is either basically 5'11" or 6'1", and basically 190 to 193. Yeah. So yeah, within 3 pounds and within about 3 inches. That is basically the range for the Green Bay Packers at the corner position. Things could be changing. Benjamin St. Juice is, I think, 6'3", so they may be trying to get bigger at that outside position. We'll see what they do in the draft to address that. But with what I learned and what I've seen with the Packers the last 5 years, I picked basically players that I think fit that mold and the system that they're going to be running, which is now a 3-4 again after running the 4-3 for the last 2 years. So the first two names, I'm going to get them out of the way because I don't think that they're going to be there when the Packers are ready to pick. And they're both Tennessee Volunteers. Jared McCoy and Colton Hood. Even though I've seen Hood fall to the Packers in a couple mock drafts, but for the most part, he's basically going either late in the first or early in the second. And the Packers are obviously a little bit further down the road here. So those two players, I would love to have them on the Packers. Colton Hood is a very fast guy. He's 6 feet 195, literally smack dab in the middle of where the Packers would like. 2 pounds heavier than they're used to, but you know. And then finally, Jared McCoy is considered the best corner in this draft class. The only reason that I think, even remotely, that the Packers have a chance at him is that he did not play a single snap this past college football season. He tore his ACL early in January of last year. He is 6 feet 193. Literally prototypical Green Bay Packer corner. But once again, if he falls in the draft, maybe the Packers, kind of like what they did with Christian Watson, maybe they decide to trade up. They don't really have a whole ton of draft capital to do that, but it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing. And if they like the way his knee is recovering, could be worth it. But for the most part, McCoy doesn't seem to be kind of falling outside of the top 15, so unlikely to happen. So, having said all of that, once again, very nerdy. Did a lot of research on that. Had to go through 5 years of who has been on the roster, who they've drafted, and the corner position. This is the top player that I think I would really love to see with the Packers here. I would really like to see if they can get him in the second round. I've seen some projections. I don't think he'll make it that far, to be honest with you. And that is going to be the first guy, Chris Johnson. He is out of San Diego State. He is 6 feet 195. He's played at least 11 games in the last 4 years. So staying healthy, staying productive, staying on the field. Very important. He has 14 career pass breakups. He had 9 this past season, so active. And has 6 career interceptions, including 4 this past season. And David, if you're still watching, my man, you're going to like this one. Had a nice pick 6 twice this past season. Pick 6 against Cal, went for 97 yards, and had a pick 6 against Nevada. I think that one went for about 60 yards there. So this guy, when he gets the ball in his hands, man, he is looking to that end zone there, and he's done it twice this past season. So had a nice interception against Northern Illinois, NIU. It was a bad throw by the quarterback of NIU, but he was able to stay with the receiver after the receiver made a nice cut to the sideline and did a great job of undercutting the route, taking advantage of a bad throw and picking it off. So, woo! Pick 6. Let's go. I mean, the Packers could use a couple pick 6s, man. Just saying. During the film that I was watching, he got beat a couple times. Kind of just got, let me see here, got beat on a post against Washington State, but very good recovery. Was able to break up the pass in the end zone to basically stop what would have been a great touchdown by that receiver. Doesn't always wrap up when he's tackling. Uses his shoulder quite a bit. But to be fair, it's a corner. There are very few corners in the NFL or in college that really are incredible tacklers. Those guys typically are either playing safety or they're just a little bit bigger. So yeah, but he's a willing tackler, man. I did not see this guy shy away from many tackles. He's aggressive, But once again, probably needs to wrap up a little bit better because once you get to the NFL, man, they're going to be a lot. The running backs, receivers are going to be bigger and faster. So, but yeah, 6 career interceptions, 4 in 2025, and he also ran a 4.40 at the combine. So once again, man, this guy stays healthy. He fits the mold of the Green Bay Packers, and he gets his hands on the ball. 14 career pass breakups. So he's active, man, and he's aggressive, man. He high points the ball and is very active. So, so yeah, Chris Johnson, really solid. The only big thing with him is that he's kind of small, man. Even at 193, you can tell by his frame right here, very small, very seems like a slightly bigger. Um, um, I'm trying to think of his Jair. Very slender. Definitely not built like Keyshawn Nixon. Obviously a little bit taller, but also when you look at Keyshawn, man, like Keyshawn is built. This kid, obviously, as he gets older, he'll probably fill out just like most of the time. But yeah, this kid is good, man. I really would like to see the Packers, if he's there at 52, take a flyer. All right. All right. Keeping with the tone at corner here, we're gonna go with a guy that I've seen a lot of people project to go to Green Bay in the second round, and that is Arkansas corner Julian Neal. So Julian, once again out of Arkansas, he's a little bit bigger, man. This would be by far the not only the tallest but also just the beefiest corner that they have ever drafted in the last 5 to 6 years, man. I think even going all the way back to 2018. He is 6'2", 208 pounds. Basically, he is built like Rasul Douglas. Once again, I talked about Rasul in this build. Rasul 6'2", 209 when he was playing with the Packers. So this guy is built like a Rasul Douglas. I think he's a little bit faster from what I can remember here. I think he ran a 4.46, and I think Rasul was at. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Neal 4.46. Rasul ran a 4.6. I'm pretty sure at the combine. But yeah, a little bit on Neal. Played in 42 games in his time in Arkansas. 35 of those in the last 3 seasons. So double digit plays or games played in Arkansas there. 9 tackles for a loss, man. This guy was getting into the backfield on a fairly consistent basis, even for a corner. That's pretty impressive. He had 5 of those tackles for a loss in 2024. Only 2 interceptions last year and then 2 in 2024, so only 4 career picks. But he is, once again, very active, very aggressive. And that goes back to, and that kind of, matches his pass breakups. Despite only 4 career interceptions, 18 career pass breakups, including 10 last year in 2025. So doesn't always get the interception, but once again is very aggressive when the ball is thrown his way and is usually going to be able to make a play on it in some fashion. So yeah, but it's Arkansas. Gross, kidding. They're okay. The Razorbacks, man. Yeah, man, you gotta be careful with those piggies, man. Yeah, he's not afraid to get dirty, man. He's not afraid to get dirty. But yeah. So once again, if the Packers go this way, I think we're gonna start seeing. I think this will be an official shift at what they've done over the last couple of years, and that is typically draft corners that are 6'1" or shorter, and typically under 200 pounds. Like I said, Benjamin St. Just, 6'3", over 200 pounds. Now, if they were to draft Neal here, once again, it looks like they would be going bigger on the outside, heavier as well, and kind of looking more towards a little bit less speed, of the Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, and more for that Seattle Seahawks type of build where they're a little bit more physical at the point of attack, and then once the ball is in the air, making plays on it. So, which I do like, man. I've always been a fan of bigger corners. If you can find great speed at it, great. But to me, size and aggression has always been something that I've enjoyed when I see corners. I don't mind, the Jairs, the 5'10", built on speed, built on being able to kind of break on the ball. But I'm always, from what I've seen in terms of like top defenses, they typically have one or two guys that are built 6'2" or bigger that can just bang with some big receivers, man. So this is another player that I would like the Packers to look at if he drops to them at 52. So yeah. So Julian, a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier than what we've seen the Packers draft, but who knows? They could be going now with this 3-4. They might be trying to go a little bit bigger on the outside. All right. Next is a guy that I actually do like quite a bit, man. I like his attributes, and I like the way how much he has played in college, and that is Malik Muhammad. Am I trying to replace Malik Willis with Malik Muhammad? Maybe, I don't know. The last time we had a Malik on the roster, it did pretty good. Did pretty good. So, but Malik Muhammad, obviously, you can tell he is a Texas man, and one Packers. They got a couple Texan Longhorns last season. Matthew Golden, obviously, was probably the biggest name out of Texas coming into that draft. And then they also picked up Byron Sorrell in the fourth round. So they've kind of double dipped in that from that Texas team there. And if you look at what Goody has done, especially defensively, he tends to kind of like to pair his defenders with people that they have played with in college. Georgia Bulldogs have been plentiful on the Packers' defensive side of the ball. Eric Stokes in 2021, Quay Walker, Devontae White in 2022, and then they also picked up Javon Bullard in 2023. All four of those guys played together at some point on that team, or at least they were together on that Georgia Bulldog team. So, and you've seen that with, this past season. Obviously, once again, a pair of Texan Longhorns that they picked up. And it would not be surprising if maybe they're like, hey, to kind of give Sorrell a little bit of like a brother in the back in on the defensive side. Let's draft his teammate here, Malik Muhammad. But background on Malik here. This is what he's done with Texas. 41 games played, 30 of them in the last from 2023 to 2024. Played 30 games, man. Obviously, a lot of that was in the playoffs. So he's played extra football at a high level at that playoff, at the I was going to say the NCAA, but the college football playoffs. So once again, significant snaps at some big games, and 30 games in those that 2 year span. Let me see here. Where are we at? 30, only 3 career interceptions. So something lacking there. Maybe not in the great position to pick some stuff off. Or once again, he's a corner, doesn't have hands. But having said that, 16 pass breakups throughout his career, including 8 in 2024. He had 4 this past season in 2025. So 12 in the last 2 years. Not bad. Ran a 4.42 at the combine and was 6 feet 182. So the height is what the Packers have been drafting over the last 5 years, but the weight, he would probably be the lightest corner that they have drafted since probably Jair back in 2018. I think Jair at the time was about 187. He did bulk up over the last couple of years to about almost 200 pounds. Um, but yeah, man, this kid, from what I saw, he actually got lighter heading into the combine. So maybe he was just trying to maybe get shave off some poundage for the 40-yard dash. But apparently he was playing at like 186 to 188 the last 2 years. So you're loco. Hello, how you doing, brother? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's your week been, man? Let me know, let me know. How's the weather down where you are, man? Yeah, David said it's been really warm where he is. We got a snowstorm a couple days ago, but now it's like almost 70 degrees here in Wisconsin. But yeah, man, it's good to see you. But yeah, man, let me know who you're looking forward to for your team, my man. Um, Bills fan, right? You're local. Sorry. But yeah, let me know who you're thinking. Who do you want them to pick first? Give me a player or give me a position that you would like for them to address. It's pretty humid where I'm at. Oh, dude, I can't do humidity, man. Like, if it's gonna be hot, man, let it be a dry heat. I can deal with that. But humidity, no, can't do it. Can't do it. So I can never live like in like a tropical area. I'm a mountain boy. You know, like I feel like that would be my perfect climate. Somewhere where it's like slightly cold, but like high elevation where it doesn't get so hot. Yeah, I'm a bit okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to double check. I wanted to double check. Yeah, I mean the Bills have addressed a lot of their needs, man. Obviously, edge rusher or pass rusher with Chubb, DJ Moore, receiver. They signed a couple secondary guys over the last week or two. A lot of those guys I feel like were more depth pieces instead of starters, but who knows? But yeah, let me know if you have like a player in mind that you would love for them to draft or a position. Malik Willis got nobody to throw to. Miami signed him just to release all the receivers here, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like the Waddle trade, to be honest with you. Let me double check what they got for him. Did they get a first round pick for Waddle, man? That is. Let's see here. So I'll make sure I got the draft capital correct. Denver overpaid 100%, man. Because as soon as I saw him, man, I was like, what? Why? And it's not like Denver was lacking in receivers, man. Like, yeah, did they have a true number one? But not really. But man, dude, they had some really good receivers, man. And I don't think receiver was the issue. To me, I feel like the biggest issue for Denver, at least when I was watching them, was their running game could be inconsistent. It was good, but it was very inconsistent. When they were going up against some really good defenses, Bo Nix had to run a lot. And then I think their offensive line, especially their interior, needed to be upgraded. To me, receiver was not a need. Didn't even crack the top three in my opinion, but I 100% agree with you. You're local, man. I feel like they got fleeced on that one. Dude, what the heck? Why can I can't find the draft capital? All right. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to Google this here. Try not to use Google as often as I can, but all right, here it is. Broncos acquire Jalen Waddle and a fourth round pick in 2026 in exchange for a first, Jesus, a third, and a fourth in 2026. So you basically gave away your almost your entire day one and day two for Jalen Waddle. And I know you got a fourth round pick, but I'm like, I guarantee you could have found a third round pick wide receiver that would have gotten you. Again, that is assuming anywhere between 50 to 70% of what Waddle is going to produce. If you force feed him, in my opinion. I don't know, man. That's wild. Let me see here, going back. I get it. It's Jalen Waddle. Who doesn't want him? But, like, come on, Denver. Focus on what you really need. You have a solid receiving core, 100%. And you could have added to it as well in this draft. Like, it's not a great receiving class, to be honest with you, especially at the top. But to me, man, you could find someone from round 3 to 4 that could give you 500 yards. Easily. Easily. Especially with the Sean Payton, who's going to be able to scheme up guys open. You know, granted, Sean Payton obviously has a vision for Jalen Waddle. We'll see how it goes. But I feel like you could have easily drafted somebody that can give you 400 to 600 yards and probably like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, David, I hope Denver goes 6-10 or 7-10 match Vikings. Dave, I use DuckDuckGo instead. Me too. Me too. I like DuckDuckGo. It's a very streamlined, but unfortunately, sometimes you don't always get the answer you ask, which trade off. It's a trade off. Yeah, unfortunately, as soon as I hit Google, they're like, oh, "Here's all the information." I'm like, "Oh God, it's too convenient." Like you said, they gave away most of their day 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, like it's been a while since I feel like Waddle really gave Miami a consistent. Oh, come on, like consistent production. Like I know he's dealt with some injuries, but I don't know, man. Don't really like it. You see here. Let me look at his last couple seasons here. So yeah, look at man, Jesus, man. So Waddle, his first year, over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2022, his best season, 75 catches, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2023, once again, we just went over 1,000, 4 touchdowns. But over the last 2 seasons, in 2024, 58 catches, 740 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like that is middle of the road receiver 2 numbers or high end receiver 3 numbers, especially the touchdowns. And then last year, 64 catches, 900 yards, 910 yards, 6 touchdowns. Like that's borderline Romeo Dobbs numbers right there. And Romeo is a good receiver. He's just not a guy that I would trade a first and a third and a fourth. No, it's like no. Let me see here. Like you, so yeah, like this is what Romeo did the last 2 years: 46 catches, 600 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Romeo has more touchdowns in the last 2 years than Waddle. Waddle has, I think, 8, and Romeo has 10. In terms of yardage, I think Waddle has only about 350 yards extra, and then might have like an extra 20 to 30 catches, maybe. Yeah, let me see here. Not even 30, actually. I'm just doing the math right now. Has like an extra 20 catches, an extra 320 yards, and 2 less touchdowns. Yeah. Also, Buffalo, can we please get a consistent offense? Right, dude? The good thing is, like, you don't need a ton of extra help to make that offense, I think, get back to where it was like 2, 3 years ago, to be honest with you. You have the quarterback, you have one of the best quarterbacks that you could possibly have right now. Hall of Famer, first ballot, as long as stays healthy, knock on wood. Um, was coming off a MVP season, even this season where some people said it was a little bit of a down year. Still a freaking great year for Josh. You have one of the top 3 running backs in the NFL. You have 2 really solid tight ends that had a little bit of a dip in production, but they were dealing with injuries. One of the best slot receivers in Shakir, in my opinion, in the NFL. I think the offensive line needs to get younger and slightly better, but you can address that here. And I think your defense was, and I mentioned it before, they were old, they were injury, and they were expensive. The Bills defense got younger, cheaper in a good way, and potentially healthier this offseason, and they still have a chance to draft a bunch of other guys. Hopefully. I don't agree with the Sean McDermott thing. I mentioned that before, but I digress. I think that was a bad decision, but we'll see. But yeah, man, that is insane to give up for Jalen Waddle, man. Absolutely freaking insane. Yeah, so basically the Broncos and the Dolphins, they basically swapped 4th round picks, and the Broncos basically gave up a first and a third for Waddle. If the Bills didn't shift left, they'd still end up. Can never escape it. They can never escape it. Nailed it. Yep. I'll never forgive Buffalo for the McDermott firing. Very funny, bro. I mean, if it helps, man, the Packers. I mean, whew, the Packers, man, I tell you. And I kind of now and I'll address it here in a little bit as I'm talking about corners, man. For the Packers, they're always a draft for value, draft for best player available, which is great. Until you start ignoring the position of corner for the last 2 seasons. Despite needing another guy opposite Jair or just simply to replace Jair like this past season, the Packers waited until late in day 3 to draft anybody at that position, and now they're paying for it. I shouldn't say they're now paying for it. They've been paying for it for the last 2 years. so, so yeah, man. Every team has its weird, like, you're just like, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love the way the Packers draft, but sometimes I'm just like, just overdraft a guy just once. Just, I'm not saying if he's a 5th round draft pick, you draft him in the first, but like, if he's kind of like a 4th round pick, but you're in the 3rd round, either trade back or just draft him. If he turns out to be a good player, who gives a poop if you drafted him 25 picks earlier? It hurts. Anyway, I was just forgetting that. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Do you think the Bills were done to release McDermott? I want him back. Yeah, man. Because once again, do I think Sean McDermott was? Sorry, are you asking me or your local? Um, do I think McDermott was the best coach in the NFL? No. Do I think he was always great during late game situations or stuff like that? No. But he, and I've said this before, look at what the Bills were for 10 to 15 years before Sean McDermott got there. In the 15 years leading up to Sean McDermott, look at what they were. And look at what they've been the last couple of years. Has it been frustrating? Yes. Has it been frustrating not to be able to make a Super Bowl appearance despite all the talent? 100%. But you're still one of the top three, top four teams in the conference and one of the top 5 to 7 teams in the entire NFL for the last 6 to 7 years. It's like, yeah, man. Like, of all the years, too, to fire him, this was probably the year that I would have given him an extra year. That defense was bad. The Bills have not been drafting super well. That's a GM thing, not a Sean McDermott thing. So, I don't know. Yeah, the Bills were. It was weird. I knew it was probably going to happen, or at least there was a likelihood, because you kept on hearing rumblings, and a lot of Bills fans were not happy. But I still think it was a bad decision. So, but, yeah. Going back to the Waddle trade, a great freaking decision by the Dolphins, man. Like, I know they've basically either released or traded away almost all of the receivers um, that the Dolphins had. But man, dude, they are going to be able to rebuild that team if they hit, even if they hit on half of these guys, especially the early ones. Like, it's going to be really freaking good for them in a year or two. They got a cheap, potentially talented quarterback, and they're going to have cheap and young receivers at almost all these, not just receivers, but tight ends, offensive line, whatever it is. They're going to have a lot of guys that are potentially young, ascending, cheap players. And that's what they need right now because they have so much money in dead cap. I'm trying to think. I think I read an article yesterday. I think the cap for every team is about 300 million. The Dolphins have about 165 million of that taken up with players that are not even on the roster anymore. Tua, Jalen Waddle now. Yeah, man, it is a Tyreek. Like it's incredible how much dead money this team has right now that they're gonna have to deal with this season and a little bit next season. But then after that, they're clear. All right. So did I finish talking about? Sorry, Malik. Speaking of Malik Muhammad here. Yeah, he's a little bit smaller, man. 182, man. He's definitely gonna need to bulk up just a little bit because, especially in the NFC North, man, there's some big receivers that you got to be able to tango with, man. You got Roma Dunze, you got the two monsters that you have in Motown, and obviously Jefferson over there in Minnesota. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be. This kid is gonna. If the Packers draft Malik Muhammad, man, it's gonna be exciting because I think this kid is good. But man, he's gonna need to bulk up and he's gonna need to be physical. I want to make sure that I don't move on from the corner. I've heard the name Keith Abernathy, or sorry, Abney the second, Arizona State corner. I didn't get a chance to do a whole lot of research. I kind of saw that name late, and I've seen what was it, like 2 or 3 quote unquote draft analysts project him to go to the Packers in the second round. So that's another name that I'm going to do some research on, and we'll see. He didn't really pop out to me in terms of his physicals when I was looking at kind of like an overview of the corner position, but probably get back to that guy in the next coming couple weeks. But yeah, man. Chris Johnson, Julian Neal, and then Malik Muhammad are the names that are they're going to be kind of in my book. What I kind of am hoping the Packers take either in the second or the third, man. All right. So here we go. One, two. All right. And I'm going to be talking about three more players, and that'll be basically it. I'll kind of, once again, please do not be afraid to not interject, but hit up the chat, man. Let me know what you think about the guys that I'm talking about. Let me know if you know anything about them. And then on top of that, if you know a player, man, that you want me to talk about, let me know. David, you're local. Give me players to talk about. Let me know what you think of them, why they're interested, maybe, and then I'll try to do a little bit of like a prospect video on those guys in the next coming weeks. And once again, this is all for you guys. I want to get your feedback. Let me know players. Let me know players that you're interested in for your teams, the Packers, if you're stuff like that. Please, this is as collaborative as it is anything else, man. Yeah, like right now, dude, I am like a kid in a candy store, man. Like every name I want to know, I want to watch some film. Like right now, I am watching some film on R. Mason Thomas, the edge rusher from Oklahoma, and that is actually the man I'm going to be talking about next. So I saw yesterday some film, and I'm continuing to watch more. This guy, man, this guy is built what exactly the way the Packers want their edge rushers, man. Um, and let me bring up the Packers roster here real quick because similar to the corners, this guy is built exactly almost every single edge rusher that the Packers have is built like this guy. Or I should say this guy is built like almost every pass rusher that the Packers have on the roster right now. All right. So I've seen some people project like linebackers or edge rushers that are like 6'5", 270, 280 pounds. And I'm like, I don't think I think I can only think of one guy that the Packers have either drafted or have currently on the roster that is built anywhere near that. Um, so just to give you an example, a couple of examples here. This is what the Packers have at edge rusher right now. So Aaron Mosby, he's been on the Packers for the last 3 seasons. 6'3", 250. Micah Parsons, 6'3", 250. Let me see here. Colin Oliver, 6'2", 240. Byron Sorrell, 6'3", 256. And Brenton Cox, 6'4", but still 250. And the only guy that does not meet this requirement is the 6'5", 272-pound Lucas Van Ness. And it's been a little bit of a disappointment, to be quite honest with you, but yeah. And what is our Mason Thomas build? This man is 6'2", 240. But he played last year at 248. 2 pounds just shy of about 3 of the guys that play significant snaps for the Packers last season. Stupid big blue screened on me. I blame Canada. Not really. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Those darn Mounties. So nice. Always making great maple syrup. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, man. Hopefully your PC comes back on, my man. Let me know. Let me know. But yeah. So of the film that I've watched on Thomas, once again, linebacker, outside linebacker, edge rusher, out of Oklahoma, 6'2", 240, 241. He is built. The way he wins is very very similar to what the Packers kind of had with Clay Matthews. Not comparing the two by any means, um, but Clay was never a power rusher. Like Rashawn Gary was all power. Did not have a spin move. Did not have a bend to him when he was trying to like. He could not get around. He could not bend around the edge. Rashawn was, if he can't beat you by putting his helmet into your chest, then you got him. That was kind of it. It was good for the first 2.5 seasons, but unfortunately for Rashawn, it stopped working. This guy is nothing like that. Does not really run with power, even though he's been from the film that I've seen. Um, Tight ends, dude. Oh my god, dude. No tight end have I seen, and these are not just highlights. These are like film. He absolutely bullied Tennessee's tight end all throughout that game, dude. That poor tight end was holding on for dear life. I'm pretty sure at some point I saw him do this a couple of times. uh, so this kid Thomas, man, he wins with speed. Whether it's a move, quick move to the outside and then cuts through between the guard and the tackle, or he simply just bends around the tackle to get to the quarterback. 17 career sacks at Oklahoma, 9 in 2024, and 6.5 in 2025. So 15.5 sacks over the last 2 years. Played in 42 games, 23 in the last 2 years. So he's been relatively healthy. No major injuries to report. And this is probably the best stat of all. 26 tackles for a loss, including 22 in 2024 and 2025 combined, I should say. So yeah, so over the last 2 seasons, 22 tackles for a loss, man. This guy makes plays in the backfield. Simple as that. There's been a couple times, I think the video that I'm watching right now, I saw him bull rush a slightly smaller tackle. He did make a nice little outside move. I'm pretty sure he was beating him on the outside quite a bit, and then just went right to him, literally put his face mask in that dude's chest and just went through him. So does have a little bit of power. He's a little bit smaller. I doubt he'll be able to do that consistently in the NFL, but maybe if he can get that tackle off kilter and get close in on him, maybe he can kind of catch him off balance and then kind of run through him. But either way, this kid is fast, man. He's active. He's violent, man. Very, very violent hands. And then when he gets to the pass rusher, I've seen him force 3 fumbles, including one that was scooped and scored in the end zone. So, yeah, dude, this guy is a very, very violent when he's active. When he makes contact with a tackle or somebody, he's violent, and that's a good thing. So, I've seen him projected in the second round, but I've also seen him projected in the third round. So it's kind of up in the air. We'll see. But either way, there's a guy that I really like, and I hope the Packers, if they can't find a guy that they like at the corner position or at the D tackle, which we will talk about one, I hope they go with this guy in maybe in the second or the third. But yeah, so R. Mason Thomas. I don't know what the R stands for though. That's the only thing I don't know. It's the only thing I don't know about this guy. And like even his Wikipedia page doesn't have like the R stands for no, it's just R. Which is I think it's pretty badass, man. That's a pretty badass first name. Just one letter. And it's not like JJ or like or yeah, it doesn't it's just R. No, it's not RJ. It's R. Mason Thomas. This guy is so ferocious and so violent, man. The other letters in the first in his first name ran away. That's a good joke. Okay, that's a, if you hear anybody say that, that's my joke. All right, I said it here first. He's a pirate. Arg! Dang right, man. He's gonna be stealing that booty. Oh, hold on. Of of the ball. Of the court. No, I can't say that either. Booty in terms of the ball. That's what I'm talking about, all right? Oh man. Sometimes my jokes are a little off for me, but you know what? I actually enjoyed that one. That was a fun one. That was a fun one. All right. All right. So I mentioned offensive line a couple minutes ago here, and let's talk about the one offensive lineman that I actually get a chance to watch and do a little bit of research on, and that is Caleb Tiernan, the big man out of Northwestern. And yes, he is a tackle, but he is kind of projected to play guard, but there is a some people have do like him at tackle, a little bit of a swing tackle versatility. This guy, if he is very much in the mold of a Brian Bulaga, of a David Bakhtiari, of a almost Elton Jenkins, guys that have great feet, strong, can get in, have a really good technique, can get in position to kind of get in the way of those outside edge rushers. But the only knock on this guy is that he has short arms. Just like all the guys that I just mentioned. Brian Bulaga, David Bakhtiari, what were their biggest knocks? Small arms for tackles. Brian Bulaga made a heck of a career playing tackle with the short arms. David Bakhtiari, multi-time All-Pro, was on a trajectory to be in the Hall of Fame before a knee injury kind of derailed his career. Also, his knock was short arms, great everything else. This guy, same thing, man. This guy is strong, very, very good feet, and also apparently has a nasty streak, even for a tackle. So, and like I said, the Packers love drafting guys at tackle, and if it doesn't work out, kick them inside at guard and probably get 2 or 3 Pro Bowl years out of them. But yeah, man, Caleb. This is what I kind of wrote here. Sorry, I forgot to give you his measurements. 6'8", 323. This is a big mama jamma. All right, like this guy is gonna be eating cheese curds by the handful when he gets to Wisconsin. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But yeah, this would be by far the tallest offensive lineman that they have drafted. I think since they drafted, I'm forgetting his name, but I know what school he played. He was an Oklahoma Sooner, and this was one of Ted Thompson's biggest misses, in my opinion. It was a second round pick. Let me see here. Sorry, I probably should have brought this up a little bit sooner. I'll find him. I'll find him. Anyway, we're gonna move on to something else. I'll find him eventually. But anyway, um, but yeah, I like this guy, man. Really, really tall, freaking huge human being. And like I said, the Packers love converting college tackles into guards. They always try them at the tackle position first, at least for the first year and a half. And if it doesn't work out, they kick him inside. And once again, it's been working out for the Packers for 15 years at this point. So, like T.J. Lang started out as a tackle when he was drafted, and they ended up kicking him inside, and he made the Pro Bowl like twice for the Packers. Josh Sitton, another guy that played exclusively almost tackle in college. They kick him inside, and they get one of the best guards the Packers have had in their franchise's history. So there's a long precedent for doing stuff like this, and this guy, it's good. Good. The pirate player will be climbing on top of Mr. 6'8" to get to the crow's nest. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, dude, imagine if the Packers got both of these guys, dude. Like, the competition in minicamp would be freaking awesome. Yeah. The only knock on this guy, I shouldn't say the only knock. There's a couple knocks. Because of his height, he tends to kind of lose leverage every once in a while. That's true for any guy that's over 6'6". But apparently he does a pretty decent job of staying low, good technique. But sometimes he does get kind of beat. Super, like really, really strong edge rushers have been able to kind of overpower him a little bit, even though he's strong. Tends to get, once again, maybe it's the leverage thing. Once again, short arms sometimes can get kind of beat when the guy is able to kind of bend it inside. It doesn't, and Tiernan, this guy, number 72, isn't able to kind of push him out. When he can't do that, they can get inside that shoulder, dip, and then get to the quarterback. So it's happened a couple times from the video that I've seen. But otherwise, this guy is solid, man. 6'8", man. That is a big human being. Like I said, cheese curds by the handful. All right. That is the only offensive lineman that I got a chance to see over the last couple days. I will definitely have more because I do believe the Packers will be coming out of this draft with at least one or two offensive linemen because that's kind of what they do almost every year. They tend to always pick one or two guys that they like to develop after 1 or 2 years, and then they pop them in there and they're off. So trying to think here. Trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody else before I talk about this last guy. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Jennings with a G, weirdly enough. Jennings Dunker, tackle out of Iowa, 6'5", 315. I've seen that guy projected to the Packers. The only reason I didn't do a whole ton of research in there is because I've seen this guy kind of bounce around. I've seen him in the first. I've seen him all the way down to the third round pick, which I think that's where I saw him projected to the Packers. So he's kind of up in the air. I want to do a little bit more, some film on him just to see like why is there such a variance on this guy. But yeah, that's Jennings Dunkers, Iowa tackle. So yeah. But anyway. Now going to defensive tackle, which is a position I think, besides corner, is probably still the biggest need. I know they have Devontae Wyatt. I know they have Brunson, who kind of showed some decent power his rookie season. And then finally they signed Hargrave from Minnesota. But like I said, Hargrave is 33 years old. He had a down year in Minnesota. Has not been super productive. I would say the last 2 seasons hasn't been terrible by any means outside of this past season with Minnesota, but it's Minnesota, so everybody was pretty bad in Minnesota. Even Justin Jefferson was bad last year. But once again, Hargrave is 33. By next season, he's 34, final year of his contract. You want to have somebody in the wings waiting for you that you can develop over the last year or two to eventually replace Hargrave, whether that's later this season or starting in 2027. So, um, and the Packers are always a team that's building for the future. If you build for the future now, the future will take care of you. Simple as that. But anyway, there's been a couple players that I've seen projected. There was Christian Miller, tackle out of Georgia, 6'4", 310. That's also, once again, another Georgia Bulldog, which it would not be surprising if the Packers go that route, pairing him with Devontae Wyatt, Georgia Bulldog, would be pretty awesome. But I've seen Miller get drafted in the first round. I've seen him get drafted kind of where the Packers are, so he may be there, he may not. And then the other guy that I've seen projected to the Packers is is that correct? Let me see here. Hold on. Yeah, but how often outside of number one pick is any draft actually correct? Very true. 100%. 100%. Yeah, like once you get at least from these books, and then from what I've seen from, like, I mean, I looked at NFL.com, I looked at CBS, I've looked at ESPN, I've looked at PFF. Like, I've literally gone through like 8 to 10 different websites outside of the top 6 or 7, and they kind of they bounce around. It becomes a little bit of a wild card. It's still, the top 15 is still kind of, I would say, the same 10 to 9 players, but then once you get past that top 15, man, it is, you see one guy get drafted at 16, then you see another person say, oh, he's going to be there middle of the second round pick, second round. So it's pretty wild. So let me see here. There we go. That's who I was looking at. So yeah, the other guy I was looking at was Lee Hunter, Lee Hunter, defensive tackle, Texas Tech, 6'3", 318. And apparently the only thing I was able to find like that I could talk about was he apparently was able to bull rush really really well at the Senior Bowl. That was a big highlight. So and the Packers love, absolutely love when you show out at the Senior Bowl. So Lee Hunter could be a guy, but the guy that I decided to talk about today is actually a man out of, where are you? There we go. And that is Dominique Orange out of Iowa State. Yes, last name Orange, which is awesome. Like, imagine if this guy pops off, he could have so many sponsorships. So many sponsorships, man. Just telling you. Brand recognition. No, but Dominique Orange here. Iowa State, 6'2". I saw that he was listed at 6'4", but NFL.com at the Combine officially had him at 6'2", so I don't know why there's like an extra 2 inches there, but whatever. This dude, man, 325 pounds, man. This is a space eater. This is not what the Packers have kind of had over the last couple of years when they came to the 4-3, where they were kind of being a little bit lighter, somewhere around 300 to 310 was what they were doing at defensive tackle. This guy is huge, and I don't even think 325 is correct. I'm pretty sure I saw Iowa State listing him at I think it was like 335, 337. This is a big man. Big man. This guy is not a pass rusher. He's not Devontae Wyatt. He's not going to collapse the pocket to get to the quarterback and stuff like that. This guy is hold the spot to make other guys, to be able to get other guys to get to the quarterback, or at the very least, if the running back is able to get past the original pass rusher or guy in the backfield, this guy is going to be there eating up space, forcing the running back to kind of chop, and then try to make a cut, slow him down, eat up space. Basically, this is our Ryan Pickett. if you will. Big man, not a whole lot of sacks, but just eats up space, double teams. But he has been able to shed. When he's one on one, he's done a great job of shedding blocks to be able to make a play either in the backfield or try to get something going. So and that's why I like this because once again, the Packers are moving back to the 3-4. So they're going to need this guy. This is an early down guy. First and second down, and then on third down, he is out. He's not going to be on the field. He's not a pass rusher. So, yeah. For some guys, that extra orange, aren't you glad he's in the draft? David, you beautiful son of a gun. Aren't you glad he's in? I am. I very much am. For some guys, that extra 2 inches makes all. You know, dude, it's not about the size of what you do with it, man. It's it's how you move. Wait, we talking about? Never mind. We might be talking about two different things. Never mind. But yeah, this guy is just huge. He does really good on one-on-one, and then on top of that, when he's double teamed or he can't really get collapse the pocket, he does a great job of being able to hold the point, force the runner to go to the outsides, and I think that's a great thing, especially if the Packers can't find a second pass rusher. You're gonna need to clog up the lanes in the middle, man. Simple as that. You're gonna have to force these running backs to bounce out, and hopefully your corners, your safeties, your outside linebackers can pursue and get to the running back. Simple as that. So, wingspan. We're talking about wingspan. Actually, he does have a massive wingspan. Let me see here. Dang it. I had that number too. Let me see here. Dominique. Yeah, this guy has an arm length of 33.38 inches. Holy shnikes. And sorry, that's from shoulder to arm. And apparently his wingspan is about 6'2" to 6'4", apparently. Jesus, man, that is a massive human being. Yeah. NFL.com. Long arms, big hands. As the very first thing that they say about him. Yeah, man. Like that is your nose tackle right there, man. And I think if you get a guy like this, it opens so much more for Devontae Wyatt, who can definitely play tackle, but you can also put him at defensive end there, like in between the tackle and the guard. Devontae Wyatt, sorry, would love that, man. It would absolutely. I think that would be great for him to be able to get him out the middle and just have Nazir Stackhouse, Dominique Orange, or and a combination of Hargrave in the middle, and then be able to move Devontae Wyatt a little bit further out. So, yeah. I still have to watch a little bit more film on him, man, but this dude is big, man. Big, 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 big human being. And yeah, as I was looking it up here, so yeah, ESPN in Iowa have him at 6'4", but the Steelers, I think they did a top 30 visit on him. They listed him at 6'2". His weight is anywhere between 322 and 330. Huge, huge human being. But yeah, so anyway. Yeah, the Packers are going to need more help on the inside, man. Especially late in the season, man, they were getting absolutely bullied in the running game. The running game, once Devontae Wyatt went out, man, it just collapsed. Absolutely collapsed. But yeah, all right. So yeah, those were the guys that I got, man. Most of these guys will be gone by the third round. The guys that I mentioned. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit more research, not only for guys that are gonna be probably falling within those, that second round, third round projection, but also some later guys. And I'm gonna do some more mock drafts, kind of to get an idea of where these, I guess, these mock drafts think that these players are gonna fall, and then I'm gonna keep on doing some more research, man. Reading these magazines, watching film, and then just kind of recording some stuff and putting it out there, man. So yeah, um, so yeah, we're gonna keep it going, man. We're gonna keep it going. But David, what do you think, my man? What do you think? I know you said tight end for the Chiefs, man, but who do you think the Packers should pick up? What position? Let me know. Woo! Let's go. Secondary for Green Bay, 100%. Yeah, man. I feel like, and it's always tough because like the Packers are a team that is very much draft for best player available. But to be honest with you, man, we've seen Goody double dip, triple dip in a single draft at a position. He tends to do that with a receiver. We've seen him do that twice now. I think the first time we saw him do it was with Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, and um, it was a seventh round draft pick. He was on the Packers for like 3 years. Caught a touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. Um, Samari Toure was the seventh round draft pick. So three receivers then, and then this past year, man, um, Savion Williams, Golden, obviously, also this year as well. So like the Packers and Goody have never been shy about double dipping, triple dipping. Even in his first draft, Jair, first round pick, and then second round pick um, was Jackson out of Iowa. Granted, Jackson was a complete bust, like very very bad. I think into his he didn't even make it out of his third season with Green Bay. He got flipped for like a late round. Oh, it was actually a corner. It was Isaac Yadman, basically like a special teams guy. The Packers were like, we got to get something out of this guy. But yeah, another example, they double dipped at corner early, first and second round pick. Um, but yeah, man, and the Packers are always drafting multiple offensive linemen in a season. So yeah, but I hope the Packers can come away with at least two corners, man. One early, one late, because I do think that they need some depth, man. They need some competition. You can't be coming into this season again with Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon as one of your top two options. me see here. I'm trying to think here before we go. Anything that I can think of. So, like I said, I'm like in a mode, man. All I want to do is watch more film. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna be nerding out for the next couple of weeks until the draft hits. I will be live streaming the draft. I will be at home. I didn't get a chance to get any tickets to go to Pittsburgh. I could find some flights that were fairly cheap, but unfortunately, staying in Pittsburgh or even within like an hour of Pittsburgh was insanely expensive, man. Even like Airbnbs were insane. So, um, yeah, fortunately, I could not afford to go to Pittsburgh for the draft. So we're gonna be doing it from home, which is kind of cool because I get to do it here, man. I'm gonna be live streaming the draft for the first time on the channel, and we're gonna go through all of it, man. We're gonna go through all of it. So I hope you guys are there on that day, even for a little bit, to kind of just look. I mean, day one, the Packers don't even have a pick, so there's gonna be no nerves or disappointment potentially if the Packers don't pick the player that you want. So yeah, I think they should go for three so they can make a complete triangle right there. Absolutely, man. Hey, that's what the Bulls did in the '90s, and they won 6 titles, man. Just saying, you know that that triangle, that triangle defense, but basically, always gotta have 2 outlets. Always have 2 outlets for the pass. But yeah, but David, what do you got going on there? Your this weekend, my man? Anything cool? Anything interesting? And having nothing to do on the weekend is also very cool. So, in my opinion, the best kind of weekends is when you don't have anything planned. Tomorrow morning, go get some stuff from Grandma's house. Then for lunchtime, as an outing of some. Ooh, okay. No idea what. Then dinner in the evening with in-laws. Oh heck yeah, dude! Let's go, man. You got a busy day, a busy weekend potentially as well. Right on, brother. You're gonna have to tell me what she has planned for you, man. Once it happens, obviously, like you said, you don't know. Be pretty interesting, man. All right. I hope it's a good outing. All right. Let's just say that. Also, give my regards to the lady Stegosaurus there. Also, David, you talked about biscuits and gravy today. How was it, man? How was the biscuits and gravy? Let me know. because I am starving right now. Once I get out of here, I'm going to be making myself a pizza. I'm going to throw some avocado on top after it's cooked, not putting the avocado in the oven. Good as usual. There we go. All right, my man. I'm gonna let you go. I know you got a big day tomorrow, so I appreciate you, David. Always popping in here, man. Always sticking around. It's always good to talk to you, my dude. I hope the family's doing well. Hope the puppers are doing well, and I hope you have a great weekend. Shout out to your local as well, Captain Mickey Mouse, for popping in here for a bit. I appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your Friday night with me. And yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling with the draft stuff. Yeah, man, it's coming. It's coming quick, man. Within the next month, it'll be that day, man. And it's gonna be the 3 best days of the off season, man. Hope spring is eternal. Everybody's gonna have a great draft. Everybody's gonna get better, and the next group of stars that enter the NFL are gonna be having some awesome nights with their friends and family, man. So, gonna keep it going. You have a great weekend as well. Don't party too hard. Woo! I got work tomorrow. I gotta be up at 5 in the morning. Let's go! Yeah, but won't be partying too hard. But heck yeah, man. Once again, David, thank you so much, man. It's always good to talk to you, my man. And I'll see you guys next week. Obviously, we'll be doing a Friday one, and if we can get to another live, we'll do it. Otherwise, I'll be doing some videos and I'll post those as I do some kind of like prospect profiles. So, and yeah, we're gonna be doing it, man. Let's freaking go. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. I'll catch you guys next week. And once again, my name is Dave, and I'm not a coach.